next few questions are going to concern more quality of life issues here for the residents. And you'll be the first to answer. Residents citywide commonly complain of one issue that really stinks. Dog poop. It's everywhere. It's in front of our homes, it's at the bus stop, it's in our parks, it's in our gardens. Tell us specifically how you will resolve this stinky problem.
It's a big problem up here. Walking the neighborhood, speaking to a family, I see it all the time. I step on it, and it definitely needs to be taken care of. I think that if we make our dog, if our dog owners make them responsible, to pick that up, or be subject to a fine. But when it comes to the quality of life up here, you definitely need, we definitely need to make sure that our streets are cleaner up here. Our streets are cleaner. We have more garbage cans so that people could drop their, their dog waste in there. And more important, as the quality of life in the Heights, more important, we need to make sure that our youth is safe up here. Again, walking the neighborhood and stepping over the poop and looking over the bags hanging from the fences. And, but although that's a bad issue, we tend to, I was looking at our youth and I know that, we need to just have safer streets for these kids, and that's my concern. Sorry.
Thank you. Candidate Connolly, you're next.
Oh my goodness. You can slug your neighbor, but if you look bad at their dog, you made an awful lot of enemies. Yeah, I love dogs, and it's a big problem downtown too. In fact, when my two dogs, they were beagles, both died. Well, actually, I had to put one down. I opted not to get another one because the problem is big. No one wants to look at it, and I honestly believe that most able-bodied people are pretty good at curbing their dogs. We should enforce the law. However, we ought to be mindful of maybe some of the shut-ins and the lonely people, who that dog or that whatever pet they may have is really their lifeblood. And I'd hate to see the city aggressively enforcing against maybe some poor old widow or something because she couldn't make it 2 blocks away to what I would propose would be a greater number of dog runs in our city. If there are no places for these dogs to go, then the dog only has the sidewalk. In downtown, they have put in some dog runs, and I think that it's worked out pretty well. I've noticed the amount of the dog droppings has gone down, and I'd like to see that replicated throughout the entire city. But I don't think we should run around screaming and yelling at dog owners, and particularly those, well, let's go back. Any able-bodied person, it should be enforced strictly against them. But let's be mindful of persons that may be a little older, a little slower with their dogs. Again, to many of them, it's their lifeblood. That's how I feel about it.
Thank you. Karen Regalado.
Okay, when it comes to this issue, we really have to start educating the public. We have to tell them, why it's important to pick up. We have to start at a young age. We have to take the kids in the grammar schools who are usually the ones begging their parents for a dog. We have to speak to them and show them why it's so important to pick up after your dog and, to make the city clean and smell right and look good. But that's definitely a quality of life issue. But we have a lot of other stuff that's quality of life in Jersey City. We have to be concerned with employment in Jersey City. Quality of life revolves around jobs. We have to give our people things to do. We have to keep our kids occupied after school. And being with the Walker team, I know the job that Jerry does with the kids, keeping them after schools, teaching them. I've been to the program. I've seen how he tackles these issues. These are all, quality of life issues that the kids are being taught on a day-to-day basis. We have to focus on education. Picking up after your dog is important, but we can't just depend on the parents who are coming home tired from work to be the ones picking up after those pets that the kids ask for. We have to start teaching and training these kids at a young age that these pets that they're asking for need to be cared for and taken care of, and the poop needs to be picked up.
Candidate Perez.
As a proud dog owner myself, it's an issue that we've talked about with many residents. Ward F40, when you go around the city, and it's something that definitely hits home. Some of the things that I thought that we've talked about as members of the community is talking to vendors. We can purchase through the city if we pool monies together and make sure that we have allocated certain funding for it to purchase poop bags in bulk. Those bags can be distributed, they can be placed in dispensers at the dog runs, in the actual parks themselves. It doesn't have to be just a dog run that has a poop bag. A lot of residents go and take their dogs to any part of the city, any open space. So we want to purchase those things in bulk. Community policing. Talk to your neighbors, make sure that they understand the importance of looking out, being vigilant for other people that are walking their animals and allowing their dog to defecate and leave it there. Point it out to them, not to yell at them or anything, but to let them know, hey, could you please make sure you pick up after your dog? If we are vigilant with one another and we're not afraid to talk to people in the community, then you're going to see a lot more respect for common areas. We can notify dog owners when they come in for licensing. All dogs that come into the city that are owned by a citizen have to be licensed by the Jersey City. We need to make sure that we increase the notification process and give them information on coupons and stuff like that for dog pet places that sell bags and stuff like that. We can start See It, Pick It Up program with other owners. Seek to increase funding for second chance litter patrols. We talked about quality of life, we're talking about employment opportunities. Well, a lot of those opportunities got cut by when the state cut their aid to Jersey City. Let's start picking those programs up, finding funding for them, so that we can actually have people getting jobs and helping to clean up our city.
Candidate Woodard.
I don't have a dog, but I have stepped in dog mess. And that's not a good feeling. And I don't believe that people who have a dog do not understand that they cannot pick up after their dog. I don't believe that. I believe when it comes to the pooper scooper law, I think that needs to be enforced. I really do. It's a shame that you as a resident have to walk outside and step in dog poop. I think we need to enforce that law. Not only that, I believe that the city needs to have more garbage containers so people won't have to go 5 blocks, because if you have to walk 5 blocks to drop your dog poop, you're not going to do that. You're not. You're going to just leave it wherever, because you don't want to walk 5 blocks smelling like dog poop. So I do believe we need to enforce the pooper scooper law. I do. I believe the city needs to provide more trash cans so we can discard them. And I do believe that we need to just continue to work together as a community, and this will help us in this pooper scooper law. Thank you.
Before I answer that, I just wanted to clarify one thing about the tax abatement situation. So, just that when I spoke about the getting that tax abatement, it's actually just a straight application process by statute. I didn't want to suggest that it was approved by the council. If you do those renovations, any citizen or resident in the the state of New Jersey is entitled to that tax abatement by statute, New Jersey statute is my understanding. So getting back to the dog poop, completely agree with my colleague Joyce Waterman again, and you know, I think the hallmark of a Fulop administration and Team Fulop is that we are going to raise the standards and expectations for Jersey City around code enforcement. We won't accept mediocrity in our quality of life here in Jersey City, and really escalate the broken window theory, the idea that you take care of the small things and the big things start to get dealt with as well. So we need to increase the enforcement, ensure that there's enforcement out there around that. And as my colleague said about having trash bins along the major corridors so that people can dispose of their dog poop appropriately. And you know, we're going to make that a hallmark of our administration and not be complacent around enforcing code, whether it be dog poop, whether it be trash, whether it be graffiti. We're going to be stringent about that stuff. Thanks.
You